It's over! An epic game 3! And Southside are through to their third grand final in 4 seasons! Reed swoops on the crown with massive basket!
3, you are kidding me.
And the fire burned brightest. Townsville are WNBL champions for the 4th time.
Welcome to your first instalment of Tuesday night Cygnett WNBL hoops. Julia Montesano and NBL 1 Championship coach Mark Ella back over here with you at Red Energy Arena for a crucial game between Bendigo and Melbourne. The series is levelled at 1 apiece and the equation is simple. The Spirit have to win every game from here to make finals, while a Boomers victory will secure them a finals berth and a top 2 finish. There's a lot on the line tonight, Mark, as we welcome you.
Hey going, yeah, you're absolutely spot on. So Melbourne looking to punch their ticket to finals with a win tonight. Not only chasing down top 2, but they'll be chasing the Townsville Fire, hoping that they can get themselves into that top spot. And they have a mathematical chance of that still occurring. But they've been road warriors. They're 6-1 on the road. You know, over half of their wins have come away from home. But for the Bendigo Spirit, it's the Calder highway to the danger zone. Every game from here on out is critical for the Spirit. They've won 4 of their last 5, so they're doing their bit. They've scored a league best 83.5 points per game for 2024 so far. They'll be looking to ride that momentum and give themselves every chance in this one, knowing that they've beaten the Boomers before.
As I mentioned, the series between these two teams is levelled at 1 game apiece, with no team winning by more than 3 points. Here is the last game where Bendigo defeated Melbourne 81-78 at Parkville. Mark, can Bendigo take the series tonight on their home floor, or can Melbourne claim a head-to-head advantage over yet another team? They already have one over all the current top 5 teams.
Well, I think both of those things can be true. You could make a case for either team. For the Boomers, they were a missed layup away from tying the game. It was the first game with Jordan Canada back in the lineup after missing with concussion. But then for the Spirit, they dominated post play. They had 44 points in the paint to 28, and they dominated bench points. They had 33-17, with Froling having 23 and 12 in that particular game.
Taking a look at the ladder now, Mark, and Melbourne could keep that spot in the top 2 with the win tonight, while a Spirit victory could really put some pressure on Perth, who have lost 4 games in a row. Can you believe it?
Yeah, and the remaining games within this round are going to go a long way to determining placings, for the final fixture that we look for come playoff time. So Bendigo needs to continue to win. Perth is looking to claw their way, pun intended, back into that top 4. But for Southside, they're trying to win games as well to try and get themselves a home final and top 2 finish as well.
A lot on the line all around the league, not just tonight, but let's take a look at Bendigo's team to kick off tonight's action. And starting 5 includes Ali Wilson, Callie Wilson, Crocker, Griffin and Davis. And Mark, it's been the Ali Wilson show recently. She's been averaging 19 points in her past 2 games alone and scoring over 12 points in 5 of her past 6. How crucial is she to a win tonight for Bendigo?
Very crucial. She's the ultimate purple patch, flow state, in the zone player, however you want to phrase it. She can kill a team in a quarter with her offensive talent. The last 2 games that she's played in, she's had the 19 points, 6.5 rebounds, 8.5 assists, so having a hand in absolutely everything, and just requires so much alertness and attention from every opposition team's defense because of how dangerous she can be.
And taking a look at Melbourne's starting 5, Canada, Hillman, Conti, Froling and Blitzarves. One player I want to touch on, Mark, is Monique Conti, coming off a career-high 19 points against Perth in her 100th game for the Boomers last week. She starts again as point guard tonight. Do you think she's having a career-best season?
100%. So averaging the 7 points, 2.5 rebounds, 2 assists a game. She defends premier point guards from opposition teams, and she's all over them like white on rice. She's finding her place within this Boomers offense with the use of her 3-point shot, and she's got a really deadly mid-range game, so that pull-up jumper is something that she's comfortable with and really carved out a niche for herself within this Melbourne lineup.
Melbourne also get Meg McKay back from COVID, missing last game against Perth. It is, of course, fighting period poverty round, though, and in Australia, an astounding 1 in 5 women have to improvise on period products, which is a pretty alarming statistic. You can help make a difference today by purchasing a pair of bloody good socks from Share the Dignity. Do your part in helping to fight period poverty. You can see all the players proudly supporting the cause, those great socks on your screen, so make sure you get yourself a pair at home to tune in and support with the players. Well, we're all in readiness here for the first game between these two teams in Bendigo this season. Can the Boomers punch their ticket to the finals, or can the Spirit ignite a late run to that same destination? Spirit in their Indigenous uniforms tonight, looking so great out there on the floor. The referees in position ready to battle it out as well. They've got one of the toughest jobs in the game, and it's going to make it no easier tonight. Series levelled at 1 apiece. All on the line in Game 1 of 2 Tuesday night games. Of course, Canberra-Townsville coming up at 7 o'clock on 9 now as well. But for now, all eyes on the Spirit and the Boomers at Red Energy Arena. 1-1 at the moment. Let's see who can break the deadlock and claim the series tonight. In a crucial game of Cygnett WNBL hoops, it's Hillman to start things off for Melbourne. And now Froling for an early look at 3. Davis to Kelly Wilson. 448th WNBL game. Gets it to Ali Wilson. You know she's in a purple patch of form right now. This time gets it to Davis, who shares it to Griffin. And now it's with Crocker. Back to Griffin. Getting to work on Hillman, stepping one way then the other and can't find the basket. Conti now. Froling. Canada. Gets picked off. Good hands there by Ali Wilson. And now Kelly Wilson. Pretty up and down to start things off here at Red Energy Arena. Davis spinning. And she can't get the basket to go either. So we go again through Canada. Hillman, can she break the deadlock? Yes, she can.
You can see a really conservative defensive approach from the Bendigo Spirit. So playing off whoever they're matched up against, trying to pack the keyway and shrink space around the basket.
Wilson to Davis, Froling right there with her. It affected the shot. So Hillman can collect.
Like the early approach from the Spirit, so getting a touch in the post on 2 consecutive possessions, 1 to Griffin, 1 to Davis.
Conti now. Into Hillman. Blitzarves has an early look. Can't knock it down. Kelly Wilson using her pace. Trying to get around Monique Conti. Loses it momentarily and then asks for some cutters, but instead has to go back up the top to Griffin. Ali Wilson now. Back to Griffin. Hillman commits the foul.
We talked about how dangerous Ali Wilson can be, so she gets a whole lot of attention off the pick and roll, drags 2 defenders with her, finds the open, rolling to the basket, Kelsey Griffin.
Kelsey Griffin averaging 13.9 points per game this season, 6.5 rebounds. She's a leading scorer in rebound, no surprise to see that. Got a career high 33 points against Melbourne in her first game of the season. I'm sure a lot of Bendigo fans remember that one.
And they look best when they play through her. And I've got in my mind the last game that the Spirit won against Canberra. She had 12 points to start the 4th quarter alone, with the Spirit playing through her as a target.
Finished that one with 23 and 9, so not a bad stat line. The 26-year-old Kelsey Griffin. And Conti moving her feet too much there.
I talked about the conservative defensive approach. It looks like the Bendigo Spirit are trying to contain and challenge the Melbourne Boomers to have to shoot over the top of them, whether that's from the perimeter or from the mid-range. So far, it's paying dividends.
Conti and Wilson side by side. It gets its way to Griffin. Just dumps it out to Ali Wilson. Kelly Wilson. Back to Ali Wilson. And Froling cuts it all off. Canada with no one ahead of her, has to go on her own and lays it in.
And credit Keely Froling to come across and help in that play.
Ali Wilson for 3. That one just rims out. Blitzarves likes the 3 this time. Drives in. Crocker right there with a good defense in the end.
Yeah, did a really good job of containing, but again, you know, when you give yourself a cushion, it lends itself to you having a step head start to try and cut off driving lanes, just like Maren Crocker did in that particular play. Was able to force the error out of Sarah Blitzarves.
Here is Crocker now bringing the ball down. Nice little dish, and it ends up with Alicia Froling on for some early minutes. Couldn't get the shot converted. Canada asks for some movement, gets it to Froling. She goes on her left, but can't go all the way in. There's her sister rebounding. Love it when two Frolings go head to head. Griffin. The two Wilsons share it around now. So two Wilsons and two Frolings out there at the moment. Kelly Wilson gets fouled.
I like seeing Kelly Wilson be more aggressive off the dribble. So if she, for the great passer that she is, if she's able to be a threat to score the basketball, it keeps defenses honest, and then she can go back to being that facilitator when she baits an extra defender to come and try and blow up whatever she's doing.
It's been a good battle between her and Conti to start off. We've been singing Conti's praises, but she's given her a bit to think about early on in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the veteran IQ and just game sense that Kelly Wilson brings.
Able to convert those free throws. Kelly Wilson, three-time WNBL champion, ranked second in all-time assists. Hillman now for Melbourne. Drives hard on Froling, and it was an offensive foul. Good defense there from Alicia Froling.
Great job by Froling to get her body in the way. Now, this is crucial because this is the second foul on Naz Hillman. She was in foul trouble the last time that these two teams played. She was on the bench for periods of time, had the 4 fouls accrued. She's got 2 already within the first 3.5 minutes of the quarter.
So 4 points apiece between these two teams. Ali Wilson to Kelly Wilson. Puts the step on Conti and goes all the way in. Vintage Kelly Wilson on her home floor. Conti wants some revenge, and she gets it from beyond the arc. First triple of the game from Monique Conti. Froling trying to get around her sister. Keely's right there with her. Alicia eventually gets through and gets the call as well.
And she was tremendous the last time that these teams played, just with attacks around the basket and possession play. So she misses or gets a shot deflected in that particular possession, but stays in the fight, goes and tracks down the rebound. Second time up, she gets herself on the free throw line.
So fun seeing two Frolings battle it out beneath the basket. Alicia winning out on that occasion.
And they're both competitors, but both so different in their approach. There's similarities, but there's distinct differences that make either of them unique.
And she converts the three-point play. Some good early contributions from Alicia Froling. Abby Warung on the floor now, guarding Canada. Samuels out there too, and McKay for Melbourne. Conti, back-to-back triples!
That was a heat check, and she's on fire.
From well deep as well. Samuels can't respond. And Conti, after a few early errors, goes back-to-back from long range. Almost from the car park.
Right, so she's going to keep you honest. So she's always a scoring threat, and it's coming more organically out of the Boomers' offense. And that's why we're seeing her scoring numbers go up.
Samuels thought about the three, then got trapped. Froling goes up against McKay and gets it to go. Fast down the other end from Keely, but it doesn't pay off. Luckily, Melbourne ball again for them.
The challenge for the Boomers is to keep their emotional control. They've accrued the 4 fouls to nothing so far. If they continue to worry about whether the referee's going to whistle the call or not, that can be distracting. They've just got to continue to play. There's a lot of basketball left in this one.
Blitzarves. Oh, and McKay somehow pops it in.
Might be a cheeky player of the week candidate. Inadvertent tip in.
Little circus shot there from McKay. I knew she was skilled, but that will certainly be one she wasn't expecting to have under her name tonight. Here's Ali Wilson driving on the replay there. Long pass from Werung. Wilson and Werung share it around now. Leaves Samuels free. She likes this range. And again, it just rims out. She's had a few good early looks, Casey Samuels.
And she comes in trying to be a threat. So every time she touches the ball, she's got a scorer's mentality.
Oh, Canada back-to-back circus shots there for the Boomers. Just bounces off her opponent. And it heads straight into the ring.
If you're Coach Chris Lucas, that's the response that you would want. Just go and make the basketball play. Don't be too fussed about whether there's a whistle on the play or not.
Back-to-back baskets for the Boomers there. It means they lead 14-11, but another foul, which will send Merrin Crocker to the line. So Boomers already over the limit. 4 minutes left in this opening term. It sees Tara Reid head onto the court in place of Sarah Blitzarves. Of course, both of those players heading onto a plane in the coming weeks for the Olympic qualifying tournament. Reid for New Zealand and Blitzarves for Australia. Merrin Crocker at the line. Having a tremendous season with the Spirit. 12.2 points per game, 3.3 rebounds and 3.8 assists are her averages. She comes off for a well-deserved break to start off this one. Kelly Wilson will take her place on the floor. Short break for the veteran. Now she's got to chase the hot hand of Monique Conti around. 6 points for Mon Con so far in this game. 2 triples. Canada now. She's got the 4 points next to her name. Pulls up. Can't knock it down. Ali Wilson pushes the pace up the other end now. Samuels and Wilson sharing it around. Alicia Froling into Wilson. Wants some support, gets Froling back. Goes up against Keeley, and this time Keeley wins out. Spirit baseline ball, though.
A better job of defending Alicia Froling. So one of the things that she does a tremendous job of is she leverages contact. So you see her try and find Keeley's body on 2 separate occasions. There, if you can take that first hit and then keep your feet and body away, it gives you an opportunity to stay between her and the basket. But if she can get to your body a second time, she'll spin off that contact or step through and be able to get herself airspace for an open shot.
Keeley came in again and a foul was called. Alicia Froling hits the deck. So the whistle has been hot early in this game. As you can see, the Boomers over the limit. And you see the call there. 2 Frolings collide. I sense that'll be a theme for most of the game, Mark. They don't hold back, these two.
Not at all. But, I mean, like I alluded to earlier, just 2 competitors for possession. And unique in their own right in the way that they approach their game. You've got Keeley, who's probably, you know, like got the size of a post-type player, but more of a perimeter skill package, whereas traditionally Alicia Froling has been that more back-to-basket, even in the high post, back-to-basket, turn and get to the rim within a dribble type of player.
More importantly, that's 2 Melbourne bigs now in some early foul trouble. Hillman, as we mentioned early on, with the 2, and now Froling's just accumulated her second, both on her sister, mind you. And she's going to take a seat on the bench, I think, for the rest of this term.
Now, if you're Coach Chris Lucas, you're thinking that even though there's a discrepancy right now, the wheel is going to turn. There's no way there's going to be this discrepancy in terms of the fouls called. So it's a great time to start to call some plays or orchestrate getting the ball into high percentage scoring areas, knowing that to even up that foul count, you're probably going to get on the free throw line out of it. There's an opportunity for some and ones if the Boomers can be aggressive here.
Canada tried that, but it just didn't go in. Spirit committing their first foul of the game as well while you're speaking then, Mark. So the wheel is starting to turn ever so slightly. Canada, Blitzarves. Reid drives in, and it's a great drive from Tara Reid, and that's exactly what you're talking about, Mark.
Case in point. Like I always say, I don't have a script in front of me, but it's the psychology of just being around this level of basketball for a long time. You can leverage, the way that the game gets officiated, and if you're tactful in your play calling, you can create opportunities for your team. So great job to the Boomers.
Tadar Reed's a 63% free throw shooter. But shoots at a good clip from the field, 41%, averaging 7.4 points per game, 4.1 rebounds, which is on the scoreboard tonight.
And Amy Rochi in the game, another veteran talent. This is what I love about both of these teams. They're both built for finals. They're both built with depth. And they've got veterans. They've got adults who've played at high levels for a long time. We're going to see ourselves a great contest out of this one.
Boomers win and they secure their finals berth. Spirit have to win every game for the rest of the season to get themselves a final spot. Down by 3 at the moment. A good series of passing, but it just falls apart at the end.
Right idea on both occasions. So the bounce pass that went to Megan McKay, anytime you're throwing to someone who is 6'4" or above, it's usually a better idea to put the ball in the air where they can see the trajectory of the entirety of that pass, and then they can move their body towards it and land with it. It's hard sometimes to pick the ball up off the deck, when it's a bounce pass.
Griffin spinning, bounce pass to Froling. And this time Blitzar is playing the good defense to affect the shot. Reed gets moving with Canada. Reed goes herself once again, and again gets us a drop. Tara Reed's got the hot hand at the moment.
And second week in a row that she's showed the full breadth of her talent, where we know her traditionally as a catch-and-shoot three-point shooter, but her ability to make some plays off the dribble have been really important in the past 2 fixtures for the Boomers.
Ali Wilson yet to score this game. Werung loves a triple. Canada brings down the boards. So, not quite sure. We'll have a look to see what that call was actually, but the score for now, 19-14, as you can see on your screen. 1:35 left in this one. So I think there was a foul called amongst all that rebounding, I should say. And you can see, Froling copping a bit of a hit there from McKay. And it means Bendigo will have a baseline ball. In fact, we're going to head to the sideline. So a bit of confusion out there, but we got the call in the end. And Bendigo will be very grateful to have another go. Griffin now into Werung, thinks about the triple again, and this time drains it.
And Abby Werung is not somebody who you can go underneath the pick and roll against, because she's got essentially 4-point shooting range. She can shoot it from deep, from that yellow line or above, if you give her time and space.
2 opportunities in a row she got there. Reed, she has the hot hand on the other end. Pulls up, this time can't knock it down. Callie Wilson gets moving, her team down by 2, potential to level or go in front here. Canada picks it off.
So if you're the Spirit, you want to be aggressive, but you still want to be tactful. So Abby Werung's got to have a plan when she's dribble penetrating here, or it's not an issue to keep the dribble alive and then wheel it back out and get into a patterned half-court offense. But they've got a real opportunity with 56 seconds to go. They've got the Boomers in the penalty. Any foul incurred, they're going to the free throw line for 2. So you want to stay aggressive.
Davis into Wilson. Manic defense out there, 1 second on the shot clock. And Blitzars pulls down the boards for the Boomers. Gets it to Reed. Goes inboard to McKay, and it just rolls out. Everyone thought that was money. But instead, Bendigo get a chance through Callie Wilson, who levels the scores.
Big bucket from Callie, looking to be aggressive in transition. She had 11 points when these two teams last met. It was incredibly important in just being a scoring threat every time she touched the basketball.
Melbourne with the last shot of this term. McKay can't make it count. The rebound falls with the Spirit. Callie Wilson doesn't elect to go for the shot, but it's all square at the end of the first term here at Red Energy at Reader. At quarter time, it is a Spirit 19, Boomers 19. We'll see you after this short break.
use that momentum and power you've created to explode out on your first dribble. Okay, we've got 2 more. 1.
Sometimes as women, we look for perfection as opposed to execution.
The work ethic is important when the players are 40 years younger than us.
Cheers. Welcome back to Red Energy Arena, where scores are level at 19 apiece between Bendigo and Melbourne. Monique Conti with the back-to-back threes lit up this game. Tadar Reid got involved with a few good looks as well for the Boomers. And for the Spirit, it was the Kelly Wilson and Alicia Froling show early on. Mark Alabakov, what did you make of that first term?
Well, similar to the last game, that these two teams played, the bench input and the depth is becoming really, really vital. So the Melbourne Boomers, you've got Froling on the bench and you've got Hillman on the bench, both with foul trouble. They played 4 minutes and 6 minutes respectively, but then Conti and Reid come in and deliver 6 points and 5 points apiece. For the Bendigo Spirit, you've been able to draw 7 fouls by trying to pump the ball inside. It's gotten you 9 free throw attempts and 6 second chance points. So that's where your bread is buttered. You've got to continue to go to the well and kind of force the Melbourne Boomers to have to defend you in close proximity to the hoop at risk of fouling, where they might just stay straight up and allow you to put the ball in the hoop from that close proximity if you get it in there.
So second quarter about to tip off. The series between these two teams levelled at 1 game apiece. No team has won by more than 3 points this season. So it's been a good battle between these old rivals. Tonight taking the floor at Bendigo for the first time this season. The previous 2 games have been at Parkville. And if Melbourne win tonight, they secure their ticket to finals, secure a top 2 finish, joining Townsville in that same position as well. Bendigo need to win every game from here on end to get into the last few games of the season. Second quarter here at Red Energy Arena is with Ruth Davis of the Spirit, who turns around and can't get the shot to go. Nice Hillman back out there on those 2 fouls. So Chris Lucas hoping for a good start from his team by the looks of it. He knows how important it is to get off on the right foot. Reid steps into the shot. Can't get it to go. Kelly Wilson now. 6 points for her so far in this game. Into Griffin, into Davis. The tall timber working together. It'll be a Melbourne ball.
And I like the move from Coach Kennedy Kerryama to try and pump the ball inside here to Ruth Davis, put Nas Hillman under the pump, or under pressure, so to speak, to incur that 3rd foul. So they're making her have to defend in close proximity to the hoop, but then smart job by the veteran, Amy Rocci, to come in and help.
Here is Rocci on cue. Gets it to Reid this time. Going baseline and drawing the foul.
That's one of the ways that you can try to create some space and driving angles to the hoop if you're the Melbourne Boomers. So the Spirit are playing off. They're in a really heavy containment defense. Watch at any point in time, there's usually 4 navy blue singlets in the painted area, just waiting for any dribble penetration or post feeds. But if you can get the ball moving from side to side, it's those closeouts from defenders when they're running at picking up the basketball or to their next spot on the floor that create gaps that you can try to split between off the bounce.
2 from Tadar Reid. She's the only Boomers player who's been at the free throw line tonight.
Yeah, they haven't been at the free throw line a lot. They only had 1 free throw attempt for the entirety of that first quarter.
Whereas Bendigo had 9. Crocker now. Oh, and Davis just wasn't quite ready for it.
And smart to make that pass because she drew the help defender, Crocker did. But like I alluded to earlier, I think it was the Melbourne Boomers, it might have been with Blitzarves and Megan McKay. You've got to put the ball high for anybody that's 6'4" and above. Put it where they can see it and catch it.
Monique Conti into Blitzarves, who likes the look of the shot. Just falls out. Kelly Wilson, a look-ahead pass to Griffin. Spirit ball from the baseline. Good work by Blitzarves to get back there as well.
Look at this as a beautiful pass off the dribble from Kelly Wilson. Put it to the advantage of Kelsey Griffin, where all she needed to do was release position to go and get possession. She just happened to be defended by an Australian Opal world-class defender to put her hand out and get her mid on it.
That'll get you. Timeout called on the floor, 21 plays 19. And this timeout is brought to you by Cygnett. Cygnett are long-term supporters of Share the Dignity and are committed to helping end period poverty. They're donating $1 from every product sold on their website from now until the 31st of January. Head to cygnett.com to help make a difference. January is nearly over, so that's actually tomorrow. So make sure you go on their website and check it out. It's been a great round so far. And this game tonight's been pretty great too, Mark. Our first time out. What are the coaches talking about here?
Well, I think if you're Coach Kennedy Kariyama and you're talking to the Spirit troops, everything that you're doing is paying dividends. So continue to play through the post. It's putting a whole lot of pressure on the Boomers to have to try and defend one-on-one with people who are in foul trouble. And you're noticing that help is coming from other places. So you're probably talking about, well, what is my next line of decision-making to penalise? You know, when the likes of Amy Rochi dig in from that strong side corner and try to blow up a post catch, what am I doing to move the needle back in my team's favour? For the Boomers, you know, you've been able to endure everything in the kitchen sink so far and a foul count discrepancy, and you're still in the lead. So you haven't really hit your straps. You're probably just steering your team.
Oh, that is beautiful movement from the Spirit, and Griffin says thank you very much.
Steering your team back towards your identity, but that's not it right there. Great play by the Spirit.
Sometimes you get things spot on, Mark, and sometimes it just doesn't quite go your way. And that's the beauty of being a coach and being an expert commentator. As Conti tries to make a move for the Boomers. Goes for a long-range three again. This time it doesn't pay off. Crocker. Into Ali Wilson. Has Griffin with her. Closely guarded by Hillman and says, doesn't matter. I'm going to pop in back-to-back buckets off the back of a timeout.
That's the threat that she brings, Kelsey Griffin. So you give her a cushion of space because you know she's deadly when she's driving to the basket, and she leverages contact, which puts you in foul territory. If you give her space, she can pull up and shoot it too.
So too can Naz Hillman, but that one doesn't fall this time round. Ali Wilson, yet to score so far in this game. We've been singing her praises about her offensive output lately. 12 points in 5 of her past 6 games. 19 points per game in her past 2. Here's Tadar Reid. Hillman onto Blitzarves for 3. Yes! Nails it, Sarah Blitzarves. Puts her team back in the lead. Wilson into Davis now. Again, they look for Griffin. She's triple teamed, so just dribbles it out to Ali Wilson, and there's her first points of the game! Right when they needed it.
On cue.
Monique Conti now for the Boomers. Into Reid. And again, gets the three-point play. Tadar Reid's got a real knack for going at these Spirit players tonight.
And you have to, whenever you can get a shoulder-to-chest advantage, like you see Tadar Reid getting there on Crocker, you've got to be prepared to hold that contact and keep a straight line into your move, whether it's off the bounce or stepping through like she did in that particular play. It gives you the opportunity to hold your defender off and create airspace for your shot.
So Tadar Reid, the leading scorer on the floor at the moment with 9 points. Make that 10.
If you're the Boomers, you want to be trying to go inside as much as possible, and you're going to have the opportunity to do that early in possessions if you're quick with your transitions down the floor.
Griffin can't knock it down.
This is a good time to run if you're the Boomers.
It's in the right hands as well with Canada. Froling hits the deck. She's back on the floor. Missed the first half of this second period on foul trouble. Nice look here. Good rebound there by Froling. Kicks it back out to Werong. Kelly Wilson now. A good string of offensive rebounds here for the Spirit. Wilson goes baseline. Can't reverse it in. And Melbourne breathe a sigh of relief.
Sigh of relief indeed, but the Spirit did everything that you would want if you're Coach Kennedy Kariyama out of that possession. They're threatening shots at the rim. They kick the ball out to capable three-point shooters, and with Crocker, Wilson and Werong all on the floor, all three of them can catch fire at any given point in time.
1-point ball game means a timeout has got to be called, and this timeout is brought to you by CTM Sport. CTM Sport is here to transform your team's travel experience. Leave the hassle of off-court arrangements to CTM Sport, the experts in sports travel management. Get the winning edge at ctmsport.com.au. This game hangs in the balance right now. It's been pretty close throughout, as we expected. Of course, the series right now leveled at 1 apiece. No teams won it by more than 3. But Tadar Reid seems to be causing a bit of issues for the Spirit, the top scorer on the floor at the moment, Mark.
She is, and she's trying to make plays off the dribble. So she's known to be that three-point shooter. She's getting a lot of respect and tight coverage whenever she catches the ball out there, but she's using that gravity as a three-point shooter to open up her driving game and her cutting game, and that's where you're seeing it pay dividends. She's got the 10 points. She's been on the free throw line for 4 attempts, of which she's 100% from the field. Great job by her showing the breadth of her talent and keeping the Boomers in it, where, to me, they haven't really hit their in-sync Melbourne basketball that we've seen them play.
And the Spirit, they're going not too bad, considering, you know, they're just 1 point behind these dominant Melbourne Boomers, as we've seen in the past, and they can get a hold of them when they want to. But Bendigo are doing well on their home floor.
Yeah, outworking the Boomers at this point, and that's what they've got to do, be gritty. They're a possession team, they're a tall team, and they can do a lot of their damage on second chance points.
Blitz serves. Callie Wilson pulls down the 4th rebound of the game. Into Callie Wilson, and now Froling. Good stuff from the Spirit.
Great post feed there from Callie Wilson, and Froling, the rim running that she does is such an asset to the Spirit team. It gives you a target up ahead to throw to.
Keely Froling loses it. Gets fouled though.
Now, the defensive intensity has gone up a level from the Spirit. If you're the Boomers, the challenge that you have now is, does that make you go into your shell? Do you become risk adverse? Do you start to take the easy way out and settle for perimeter shots, sometimes without rebounding help because you're so worried about how quickly the ball is getting down the floor back the other way? Or can you continue to play to your identity? Pump the ball inside, compete for possession, and play the brand of basketball that you want to almost impose your authority on the game.
Spirit again trying to use their passing game. Froling's going head-to-head. Alicia can't win out. Melbourne ball. Spirit players not happy with that call. Still being disputed out on the floor. You be the judge at home, see who it came off last. It could have been off Keely.
So it looks like
I think the refs have realised that too.
Yeah, change the call.
Good to get the call right in the end. So we can see every point matters in this game. Only 1 point splitting the two teams at the moment. Kelly Wilson into Griffin. Now Werung. Trying to get around the bigger Reid. And got fouled on the way in.
Anytime Abby Werung catches the ball with space and she can go to her left hand, she's as explosive a player as there is in the competition. There's a lot, funny enough, there's a lot of these right-handed athletic guards who can do everything at a very high level that prefer to drive the ball to their left hand. And she's one of them. She's very deadly when she can get a head of steam up.
Samuel's on the floor for Griffin.
And this is another one, Ali Wilson.
Froling. No call there. She's still got it here, Alicia Froling, and gets the basket to go eventually. Spirit up by 3. Back-to-back buckets for A-Frol. Canada into Keely. And now Naz Hillman. Good job by Alicia on the other end. She's doing it all tonight.
Just walled up and Hillman put the ball right in her hands.
Now Conti and Werung have no space ahead of them. Hillman's there to help. Gets it back to Conti. And the Boomers take a freebie there.
Little 1-2 action.
And again, another call out there on the floor. The foul count has evened up a little bit this second term. You know, the Boomers went over the limit early on in the first term. 2 fouls to Froling and Hillman. Cause them to rethink a little bit.
And if you're the Spirit, you've got to keep testing that. You've got to keep going to the well with possession play, post touches, put yourself in positions to be fouled.
Conti hits the deck. It doesn't bother Wilson, though, who gets it to Froling. And now Keeley Froling on the other end. And Ali Wilson and Monique Conti continue their battle. Two extremely athletic athletes, if that's the way to say that. But you get what I'm trying to say.
But two elite plays, like made back-to-back. Smart to try to use a touch pass from Monique Conti to get the ball inside, but just as clever to anticipate that and elevate with your hands straight up with some verticality. And Ali Wilson gets her fingertips to the ball, which stops what would have been a certain 2 points.
Here is Ali Wilson. 3x3 bronze medalist. Showing her wares on the floor tonight, and there you go. Hits a massive three. And a bit of celebration to go with it after the fact. Ali Wilson getting herself involved, the Spirit getting themselves involved. Timeout called, 33 plays 29. A good step back here from Ali Wilson. Brings the house down.
Yeah, and she's slowly contributing to this game in a big way. She's got the 6 points, she's got 5 rebounds and 3 assists, having a hand in a lot of things, a lot of important momentum building plays for the Bendigo Spirit.
This timeout is brought to you by Ford Aussie Hoops. Ford Aussie Hoops, the perfect introduction to the world of basketball for kids aged 5 to 10 years. To find out more, visit aussiehoops.basketball to register. And Ali Wilson, we mentioned she's been hitting her straps. The Spirit have been hitting their straps as well. What have you liked from them so far to start off this term, Mark?
Well, the rim running from Alicia Froling, it's providing a threat early in the possession. And when you've got players the caliber of Kelly Wilson, Ali Wilson, they've got exceptional court vision and they're great passers of the basketball that can throw the ball to your advantage where not only is it to you, but it's away from your defender and you can release contact and catch it in a 2 feet from the hoop type of area on the floor, which puts you in foul territory and layup territory. But then with Froling, it's not enough just to contest the first shot. Like Alicia does a really good job of being a repeat effort rebounder. So her feet land and she goes again, and she's got such a long reach so she can either come up with the basketball herself or inevitably gets fingertips to it and knocks it to a teammate's advantage, or a possession for a team. So then if you're the Boomers, you've got to defend a whole nother 14 seconds.
So interesting here, Ali Wilson at the line after that timeout. She hit that big three, as you remember, just before the timeout. And she gets another point to her name. It's very interesting times out there on the floor. Bendigo will love that. 34 plays 29 now. Keeley Froling into Canada. Hillman spins around and gets it to Conti. Back to Froling. And there's a good shot from Keeley.
The ball went inside first before it got kicked out to Froling. So I like that look for the Boomers. The Spirit coming out of the timeout in a 2-3 zone, testing the Boomers' ability to hit the three-point shot.
Wilson. Crocker. Speaking of three-point shots, she can't join the party quite yet. Sure, it's not far.
Did a lap of honour and fell out.
Canada. Can't get the shot to go, but she'll head to the line for a couple.
This is what I really like about Jordan Canada is she can sense times in the game where she's got to come in and be the leader in her example on the floor. So a play like that, while everybody's in transition, gets the ball kicked ahead to her, accelerates, leverages the contact on Werung, and almost makes the bucket out of it. So silences the crowd, everybody stops, she gets to shoot 2 free throws, and she's a fantastic free throw shooter. Keeps the Boomers in touch.
You could hear your sigh of relief there as you said great free throw shoot. He did not want her to miss and commit the commentator curse.
Otherwise, compliments are banned, right?
And there we go. She misses the second just as we even think about it. Samuels into Ali Wilson. It's kicked out to Crocker. Froling with the rebound. Samuels thinks about it. Then gets it to Ali Wilson. Some good offensive rebounds from the Spirit in this game. Samuels lets it rip. Can't knock it down. Conti now, who's liked a three-point shot this game. This time gets it inside. Then gets it back in the corner. Monique Conti!
That's beautiful team basketball. Inside, outside, extra pass, 3-ball corner pocket.
Her third triple of the game. She's had a really good patch of games, Monique Conti, and tonight, no different. I'll see some subs from both players, both teams, I should say, on the floor. And here is that sweet look from Monique Conti in the corner, right in front of her bench. She'll get a lot of energy off that. Becomes a top scorer on the floor, 11 points.
Big opportunity here for the Boomers. If they get themselves a score, that can give them some momentum. You're probably going to see an early timeout here by Coach Kennedy Kariyama.
That is unreal from Jordan Canada. One hand in reverse. Never in doubt. And the Boomers have gone on a great little run here. A 9-0 run. Here is Jordan Canada putting the footwork on. Continuing to have an impact on this game and this league overall. 3 points the margin, 1:42 left in this half. Crocker, double teams, Samuel's all alone. And you can't let her do that because she will make you pay every single time.
Scorer's mentality. If you give her that much time and space, she can knock it down.
Scores level at Red Energy Arena. Canada, can she respond? Not quite. Samuels this time gets it to Callie Wilson. Allie Wilson's with it. Back to Callie Wilson. Samuels looking for a friend to pass it to. Gets Griffin. Griffin wants it back again. Instead, Crocker in the corner. Stepped out of bounds. Good pressure there from Melbourne. Didn't leave the Spirit with much options in that offensive set.
They were urgent in trying to shut down advantages as the basketball was moving.
Rochi gets moving. Into McKay. Conti. Gets it back from Canada. Conti, not this time. Allie Wilson now, looking up ahead. Has Samuels down low, gets Griffin. And ends up back with Callie Wilson. Working in tandem with Kelsey Griffin, who steps back and knocks it down. KG, 23, loves it.
And she has range and she catches fire when they need her to. Anytime you give her some separation for that shot, she's always going to pull the trigger on it.
So scores were level at the end of the first term. Will they remain level here, or can the Spirit go in with the lead? Or will it be the Boomers with 1 second left? Rochi gets fouled. Wasn't shooting, so I reckon that'll be the end of the first half. 39 plays 37. The refs have come together to chat about it. Looks like there's still some time left for a jump ball, perhaps. Two-point margin between these two teams. Third ref comes into chat. Every call crucial in this close game. These two teams have been close throughout. Bendigo's biggest lead was 5 points. So too Melbourne. So it appears this first half is not quite over yet. Chris Lucas barking some instructions on the sidelines. It looks like Melbourne are going to have it from the sideline. 0.3 seconds left on the clock. So very quick release for a shot needed here for the Boomers to get themselves level or perhaps within the lead. Otherwise, the Spirit will take a 2-point lead heading into the halftime break. Of course, we've got another game about to start between the Capitals and Townsville. Also on 9 now. See the two teams warming up there on your screen. And Triple C heaving with fans as per usual. All focus back to Red Energy Arena now. McKay Can't let it fly. And now we have the halftime buzzer sounding at Red Energy Arena. And at the end of the first half, it's Bendigo 39, leading Melbourne 37. It's a great opening half from both teams. The Spirit probably say deserving of the lead. They've had the better momentum patches out of the two teams. And they're giving their fans something to celebrate on their home floor tonight.
Yeah, they've done what they've needed to for this first half and played tremendously with trying to get the ball into the paint. They've got the 9 offensive rebounds, 7 individual scorers for the Spirit, but the bench is being a separator. You've got Froling, who's amassed double-digit points. You've had a pair of threes from Werung and Samuels, so contributors throughout. Then for the Melbourne Boomers, only the 1 offensive rebound so far, so the Spirit doing a great job of keeping them off the offensive glass, and then maybe a hesitation, in my eyes, from the Melbourne Boomers in not pursuing it with the same level of urgency that we've seen. So the sagging defensive pressure from the Spirit paying dividends at the moment, but Monique Conti, 11 points. She's been able to keep them in it. You saw Canada get involved late within that quarter. Tara Reid, the 10 points off the bench, as the only bench scorer for the moment. So this one still can go either way. The Boomers can still become more of the Boomers, but the Spirit, so far, as you said, holding control.
And look at that rebounds column. You mentioned the offensive rebounds, 9 to the Spirit, just the 1 to the Boomers. So we know how important defense is in this game and how important rebounding is. Let's see if Melbourne can fix that on the other side of the break. But for now, the Spirit be quite happy with their work. 33% from the field, 29% from three-point range as well, and not a bad clip from the free throw line either. Here's what it looks like from an individual point of view. As Mark mentioned, Monique Conti with those 11 points. Alicia Froling dominating for the Spirit with 10 points. In the rebound column, it's Wilson and Blitzars leading respectively. And Wilson also leading the assist column along with Naz Hillman. And stay tuned, there's going to be a big second half coming up on right here on 9 Now, I should say. But first, let's take a look at this wonderful feature on Finding Period Poverty Round.
The importance of period poverty can't be underplayed.
The fact we get to raise awareness for it and support women in need. We get to supply people with the period products and sanitary items that they need and sometimes go without.
Share the Dignity do a great job of trying to make that accessible for all females.
To be able to raise awareness for something that affects so many women in Australia, I think it's just so fitting for our league.
Fighting Period Poverty is sponsored by Foodie.
You can help by purchasing your bloody good socks today.
Women are powering forward and changing the game on and off the court. Together, Basketball Australia and the Australian Sports Commission are powering women in basketball. We are amplifying the voices, skills and spirit of women in the game. From the backboards to the boardrooms, we're breaking barriers, shattering stereotypes and empowering the next generation of female athletes and leaders. Get involved and together we can create a future where every girl's hoop dreams are within reach.
Ford dealers have backed sport in communities for nearly 100 years. And now, from the Boomers and Opals to Aussie Hoops, your local Ford dealer is proud to support basketball. Because all dreams start somewhere.
I'm Amy. And I'm Annalie. And we're here with Lachlan and Zara from Ford Aussie Hoops. Let's go have some fun.
Yeah.
What was your favourite sport when you were younger?
Basketball, obviously. Do you play other sports too?
No, just
You're a hooper. What's your favourite subject at school, guys?
math, PE.
Oh, math.
Math and PE.
What's 2 plus 2?
4.
What's 2 times 2?
4.
There we go.
I don't want to stop.
Do you believe in magic? Did you know that I'm magic? Oh, no, here we go. Yeah. I can do many magic tricks.
What's your favourite thing about basketball?
Friends.
Do you get fouled out a lot?
I do.
Yes. She also gets a lot of tech fouls.
I don't get tech fouls.
I thought you were going to say the fun.
Yeah,
the fun and the friends.
But the friends make it fun. The people you do it with make it fun.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's go shoot some hoops. Come on.
For centuries, supernatural creatures have lived among us.
There are vampires, werewolves, doppelgangers, witches,
And even hybrids. Go!
There are friends,
Our enemies.
the ones we love.
And the ones we've lost. A lot of blood, a lot of partying.
But if you're gonna die, it might as well be epic.
Sink your teeth into the drama.
Drink.
The Vampire Diaries.
Here we go.
Stream every episode on 9 now.
You overheated the generator.
That's nightgown. Oh, wait.
Well, that smile might make all the girls at the church social swoon, but it's not going to work on me.
Well, I'm not gonna be polite. I'm not gonna show you where a fuse box is. Night.
This Manhattan Doctor's life is going south. Stream all episodes of Heart of Dixie on 9 now.
I've got a staff meeting to go to, and so do you, you elitist Harvard fascist, missed the dean's list 2 semesters in a row, Yankee jackass.
Stream The West Wing
Feel better getting that off your chest there, CJ?
I'm a whole new woman.
on 9 now.
Women are powering forward and changing the game on and off the court. Together, Basketball Australia and the Australian Sports Commission are powering women in basketball. We are amplifying the voices, skills and spirit of women in the game. From the backboards to the boardrooms, we're breaking barriers, shattering stereotypes and empowering the next generation of female athletes and leaders. Get involved and together we can create a future where every girl's hoop dreams are within reach.
We've now distributed 4.5 million period products, and this year it's our goal to get to 5 million. These 300 bags that you're putting together will go towards our 1 millionth bag that we've been able to distribute in the last 9 years.
We're the only professional sporting league in the country that does a round aimed at fighting period poverty. Again, we're very, very proud of that. I think there should be more doing it.
3, 2, 1, let's go!
I think it's very important overall just to help those who are in need and who really need help and who really need these items.
Just to be able to pack some bags and, make sure other people still have the opportunity to have their dignity and continue about their day. I just think it's great and glad to be a part of it.
Fighting period poverty.
Just seeing shots of the launch of the Fighting Period Poverty Round, a round aimed at creating awareness of and having a positive impact on period poverty in Australia. Make sure you get your bloody good socks to support the cause and raise funds for Share the Dignity, whose mission is to eradicate period poverty. Well, welcome back to Bendigo, where it's the Spirit leading the Boomers by 2 points at the end of the first half. Julia Montesano joined by NBL 1 Championship coach Mark Alabakov. Mark, heading into the third quarter, what does each team need to do to win from here?
Well, if you're the Melbourne Boomers, you need to be more of the Melbourne Boomers, and they've been a heavy possession play team. They play through the post when they've played their best throughout the Cygnett WNBL season, and they keep the ball alive on the offensive glass. But they've met their match with, the size of the Bendigo Spirit, but I haven't seen the same level of competitiveness from them. They've only got the one offensive rebound for a whole half of basketball, and none of their starters have got an offensive rebound.
Well, the one spark for the Boomers has been our player of the half, Monique Conti. She has 11 points. Melbourne have hit 4 triples for the game so far, and 3 have come out of her hands. How can she keep up this good shooting mark and keep her team involved in the game?
Well, stay aggressive and stay who she is. So she's got the 11 points. She's 4 of 7 from the field. She's 3 of 6 from the three-point line. So being able to attack from the perimeter. Got the rebound and the steal to boot. But she's been able to carry the scoring burden where the Boomers have missed it in the way of Hillman and Blitzarves, who averaged 26 points combined, but have only got the 5 points on the board so far. So her ability to step up and carry some of that scoring load has kept them in it in this first half. Hopefully for the Boomers' sake, they can rekindle some of that interior presence that they've had from those two athletes in the second half.
Alicia Frolling's probably been the pick of the players for the Spirit. 10 points for her so far this game and 6 rebounds. Birthday tomorrow. She's bringing in the celebrations early. She'd hope to get a win as well to match it too.
It's a crucial one, and they've played confidently and they've done a heck of a job, the Spirit. But Frolling, as you mentioned, the 10 points, 6 rebounds. She's leading the break, being a target in transition. She's a repeat effort rebounder, keeps the basketball alive, and it's why the Spirit have got 9 offensive rebounds, 8 second chance points. So they're out Melbourne boomering the Boomers, so to speak. But the thing that I like about them is their stars are standing up when they need them to. So after a quiet start, Ali Wilson has gotten involved in a lot of the action. After a quiet patch, Kelsey Griffin got involved late in that quarter, has the 8 points on the board and has made some big plays when the game was, or the momentum of the game rather, was in the balance. For them, their game plan of cushioning and containing the Melbourne Boomers and forcing them to play through the perimeter, Melbourne's taking the bait right now, and it's changed, or it's misaligned with the identity of when they've played their best basketball. So advantage Bendigo right now.
Of course, this is one of 2 games on a big Tuesday night doubleheader of Cygnett WNBL hoops. And as you can see on the right of your screen, the Caps are getting ready for their clash with the Townsville Fire at the NCCC. It's a very hard task defeating the Fire, Mark, but Canberra have had some really nice wins this season and could definitely trouble a team like Townsville on their home floor in front of a big contingent of Canberra fans. So we'll see how that game pans out. Of course, you can switch over on 9 now, but we're happy to have your company at Red Energy Arena for this clash between the Spirit and the Boomers. Series levelled at 1 game apiece between these 2 teams. Kelly Wilson can't get the scoring started just yet. Griffin somehow pulls up with the rebound. Gets it back to Wilson for another chance. Griffin. Spinning around Frolling and getting the basket to go. Vintage Kelsey Griffin has a little bit to say to the bench as well by the looks too.
Just a class act, and that turnaround jump shot was Michael Jordan-like.
Nice Hillman now for the Boomers. Conti and Reed share it around. Hillman blocked by Davis.
A smart play design to try to go with a full ball reversal, get the ball inside while everybody was on the move to Naz Hillman, get her involved in the play. I liked the idea of the fend-off arm, so her left arm, she tried to knock Ruth Davis's arm out of the way.
Hillman can't get her revenge though. Conti, an offensive rebound there for the Boomers. They've been a bit rare in this game, just 1 so far. Frolling knocks it down. Good start for the Boomers. They get themselves back within 1. Griffin, equally good start from her to start this 3rd term. Wilson and Crocker sharing it around. Crocker pulls up and lets it rain.
So a counter to the pick and roll defensive coverage of the Boomers where they're in a deep drop.
Canada moving around the defense. Conti, can she get her 4th? Not quite. Kelly Wilson into Ali Wilson. They've been sharing it around all season. Griffin putting in a great stretch. Crocker Griffin, another offensive board, and the three-point play for Kelsey Griffin.
Comes up big when you need her to, so she's a threat to get to the rim, but then you've got to locate her when the ball gets shot. And that's the dangerous thing when you play against this Bendigo Spirit lineup. You've got Kelsey Griffin, match winner. You've got Alicia Froling, exceptional rebounder. You've got the size of Ruth Davis. If you're not boxing out on the flight time of a shot, the ball's in their hands and it's in layup territory.
And she's taking over this game. Leading scorer on the floor, Kelsey Griffin, with 12 points. Just missed that free throw. And Spirit will have another go at it here. Having all the momentum go their way on the other side of the halftime break.
Big possession coming up.
Let's see what Callie Wilson can do with it. Nearly went to Griffin. Allie Wilson from the corner. That one doesn't fall. Froling now, looking for an option up ahead. Spinning around the defense, and it was a pretty difficult shot to execute. Froling thought she might have been interfered with.
The challenge that you have if you're the Melbourne Boomers is you've got to have some emotional control. Right now, the game's getting a little bit tense. There's been a discrepancy at different times in terms of foul count. You can't let it change the way that you play and force you into rush decisions where you don't present the best version of yourself.
Wilson to Davis. Oh, this is one of the easiest shots she's probably going to take. Conti into Hillman. It was cut off by Griffin. She's doing it all.
Absolutely. If we go back to that missed layup from Ruth Davis, there's been at least 4 of them where she's peppered the hoops. So they're the right type of shot. No one shoots the basketball to miss. But, you know, they're 4 times that the Melbourne Boomers have gotten out of jail.
Reed steps back and knocks it down. She's been the spark for this Boomers team so far, along with Conti. And she's up to 13 points for the game.
And for mine, her and Monique Conti are the two that have played...
Blocker now! Sorry to cut you off, Mark. It's raining threes at Red Energy Arena.
From the car park, no less.
And Canada can't get the shot to drop.
It's a similar thought. So change the way that she was trying to shoot that layup, trying to draw contact.
So Wilson commits the foul there. Nice look ahead pass. Shouldn't say commit the foul. Conti was the one that committed the foul and prevented the Wilson look at the basket. So that's 4 players now and 2 fouls, as you can see, for the Boomers. Wilson gets the first one to go. Settling into this game nicely, Allie Wilson. Hadn't scored a point till early on in the second term. Now she's got 9. Contributing with 6 rebounds and 3 assists as well. Canada leading the league for assists. Gets it to Froling. Hillman could have collected an offensive foul. Massive call.
But look who made the play defensively.
Wowee, Alicia Froling standing tall against her sister.
Comes in, takes the hit, just puts her body on the line and wears the contact straight down the middle. Smart play by Alicia Froling.
And she's been doing it all game. Really strong defense from her. Knows how to play her sister. So timeout called out there on the floor. Spirit 50 leading the Boomers 43. And this timeout is brought to you by Booty. Make yourself comfortable with Booty. Discover their collection of everyday basics and underwear, including period and leak-proof styles, all crafted in sustainable viscose. And before we discuss what's going on in this game, we're going to take a look at the other game on your screens of 9 now at the moment, and that is between the Capitals and the Fire. Let's listen to Matt Hickey and Beck Cole.
Finish down low. Away. Leads 6-4 according to the official stats that we've got on our screen. Hard take, and again, the left hand did everything but drop that time for Gemma Potter.
And it's nice seeing Potter in the starting lineup. I feel like as the season has gone on, she's really come into her role, and she has definitely ignited a fire off the bench.
As we see Woods go down the other end and score. And for me, Courtney Woods is a bit of the barometer for the Fire when she is rolling.
So we saw Courtney Woods getting a basket there for the Fire. Of course, that game's also on your screens of 9 now, but here's what you're looking at Red Energy Arena. It's a 7-point ball game between the Spirit and the Boomers. Timeout just called on the floor there. 6 minutes left in this term. Ali Wilson with it now. Into Callie Wilson. Crocker, Froling, spinning around Hillman. Couldn't get it to drop. Conti now with pace. Goes end to end, Monique Conti.
Put the afterburners on. Beautiful transition finish there from Monique Conti.
Good response out of a timeout if you're a Melbourne fan. Let's see what the Spirit can do to respond. The Wilson share it around before it gets to Griffin, who spins around on Hillman. Oh, she just keeps delivering, Kelsey Griffin.
There's not much more that you can do, but she's dangerous, Kelsey Griffin. When you give her that cushion, she can shoot the ball, but when you're Naz Hillman and you've got some foul trouble, you've got to give her some space. You can't play her with physicality because she does a tremendous job of drawing contact.
Reed into Conti. Hillman, can she get it done on the offensive end? Up against Alicia Froling. It'll be a Melbourne ball.
Now that looks a whole lot more Melbourne-like, that possession to me. So you have Hillman going to the rim, trying to wheel around the contact, get herself a layup finish, but then Blitzarv's going to the offensive glass. Blitzarv's has got to get more involved, whether it's effort-based, rebounding type of situations or being aggressive off the dribble. I feel like she's settling from the perimeter so far in this one.
By Melbourne ball, I'll just admit Bendigo ball. That's who it's in the hands of at the moment. Wilson driving straight in, drawing a foul. Aggressive drive there from Ali Wilson. Expect nothing less from her, really. She's shown that trademark aggression all season.
And she's so clever. So she's an explosive left-handed driver trying to score the ball. But when she goes to her right, she's just as quick, but she's looking for you to reach for the ball and she's trying to bring the ball underneath your arm, not necessarily trying to score it, but she wants to initiate the contact and get herself on the free throw line. And is able to bait the defender into the contact in that one.
So you saw there on your screen before Hillman and Froling now with 3 fouls to their name. So just a bit to think about there for Chris Lucas. And then McKay is going to come onto the floor. Ali Wilson's going to take a seat with the 11 points next to her name.
And a handy little lead open up here for the Bendigo Spirit.
54 playing 45. Less than 5 minutes remaining in this third period. Home fans cheering their Spirit on. Reed trying to spoil the party. Blitzarves, hand straight up from Samuels. It was good D. She got fouled as she went down. That's what you want from your bench players.
Smart to go in here to Blitzarves. I'd like to see her just make the basket in that particular play and not fade away from the contact. She's a strong athlete. If she powers up strong within her cylinder, which she has the capacity to, that's a really critical 2 points that she can score for her team. But instead, we're walking the ball the length of the floor down the other end with the Boomers in foul trouble. Casey Samuels has the opportunity to add to this lead.
So a bit of deja vu for Melbourne. They experienced this same sort of foul trouble in the first term in the bonus with just under halfway left in the term, and the same thing here. So Mark's mentioned a lot about just having a bit of emotional control. It's going to be crucial if they're going to try and win this game, because right now the momentum is right with Bendigo.
We've got to keep putting the Spirit in positions where they're moving and you can get the ball inside because it plays to your identity. We've got a 15-6 foul count discrepancy right now. So if you're the Boomers, you know that that wheel's going to turn and you've got to try and turn it into some and ones and some high percentage looks.
Very loud out there on the floor. Conti, 3 seconds to work with, so she lets it go. Blitzarves, a key offensive rebound. It gets back to Monique Conti. Shot clock ticks down once again. Reed lets fly and knocks it down. Big shot from the New Zealand national.
And smart execution out of that horn set. Great pass by Monique Conti.
Samuels looking for an option, gets Crocker. Kelly Wilson. Shares it around with Crocker. She launches a long-range three. That one doesn't fall. Canada putting the moves on Werung. Werung staying right with her though. McKay finds herself on the end of it. Just too heavy on the shot.
Probably unlucky not to draw contact.
Wilson. Crocker. Werung. Into Froling. Werung lets it rip and knocks that one down. Responds straight back to Tadar Reed's three from that same range on the opposite end of the floor. Bit of a case of whatever you can do, I can do as well. Conti now. She's loved shooting a three this game. Nearly loses her footing on that occasion though. McKay on Froling. A good hard basket from McKay makes up for the one that she missed in that previous offensive set. So fast tempo basketball now. It's a 9-point ball game. Froling glides in this time. Let's see what the Boomers have got. Conti and Reed both running in with their hands up. It ends with Canada. Reed somehow catches it, shoots it, scores it. Tara Reed is feeling it. Froling, three-point play. The moments just keep getting bigger and bigger in this game. The photographer takes a hit. He doesn't mind. What a show these two teams are putting on for us tonight at Red Energy Arena.
And I mentioned it before, the thing that I liked coming out of the halftime break was the floor running that Alicia Froling delivers to this Bendigo team. She gives you a target up ahead, and you've got arguably the best passer in arguably the history of the WNBL, or certainly 1-on-1A with the person sitting on the other bench, Christy Harawa, to kick the ball ahead and put it right on time and on target for your post player to catch and finish in transition.
For their biggest lead of the game. Gets that one to go, Alicia Froling. 11-point ball game. Boomers over the limit as well. Reed's been their spark. Can she knock down another one? Hillman's there for the offensive board. Gets fouled by Wilson.
And that'll be big for her confidence, just to get the ball in her hands off an offensive rebound. They've done such a great job, the Spirit, in keeping Naz Hillman, a dangerous offensive rebounder, off the glass. She had 9 offensive rebounds herself the last time that these two teams played. And that'll be her first touch, that type of possession, and it comes late in the third quarter.
And keeping her off the score sheet as well. It's her 2-point. She's got just the 2 points. She's 1 from 7 from the field. 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and of course those 3 fouls. So not quite the night Naz Hillman would have wanted to have, but it's not too late. There's her 3rd point for the game. Griffin, she's had no such troubles with scoring tonight. 14 points. Gets it to Samuels. Spinning around Reed. A little dish to Froling, who's making a spin cycle of her own, and the shot doesn't fall. The ref's just stopping play here. So I think that's another foul on Naz Hillman for the Boomers off the ball. She's certainly wondering what it was called for, and she was in deep discussions with the ref there. Meanwhile, Sarah Blitzarves is going to take a seat for Melbourne.
I think they might have called that on Alicia Froling. So missed the retaliation from Hillman, so she's gotten out of jail with that particular whistle.
In a hotly contested battle between these two tonight. Hillman's had her frustrations, that's for sure. Canada just loses it in the air. Samuels into Werung. Again, going from left to right. Griffin into Ali Wilson. Drives and scores.
Standing up when the team needs them to. So you've got a pick and roll with Wilson and Griffin. Dangerous to try to defend.
And the pace doesn't pay off for Canada there. Spirit get it once again. 66 playing 54. This game is right on their terms at the moment. Under a minute left in the third period. Werung. Up to Samuels. Wilson's free, gets a great dime from Casey. Offensive board, ends up with Werung and then Griffin. Steps into the shot, Kelsey Griffin. Unbelievable.
Standing up tall.
Just does it game after game. KG 23. And the Spirit giving their home fans something to cheer about with 20 seconds left in this third term. Hillman, much needed shot for her confidence and she knocks it down. The Spirit can have the last say on this term though. They've outplayed the Boomers 27 points to 17. Samuels can't knock down the triple, but it's been a fantastic performance from Bendigo on the other side of the halftime break. And at three-quarter time, it's the Spirit 68, leading the Boomers 56. And wowee, Mark, they really gave the Boomers something to think about, Bendigo. They've come out at halftime with all guns blazing.
They have, and led by this champion right here, Kelsey Griffin, just comes up with big plays. She gives you a masterclass in footwork, whether it's on the perimeter or in the low post. But her decision making, you've got, it's almost like a shark that smells blood in the water. And anytime that she gets an opportunity to make a really impactful, momentum building play, she has that knack, and she's been a proven performer, in these sorts of circumstances, like that rip to the basket that we saw late in the quarter that she had to get a certain 2 points for her team. I like the adjustment from the Boomers to try to get the ball inside. They've got to find a way to do that keeps them in sync. But certainly the Bendigo Spirit defending has kept them to tough contested shots and then been able to keep them off the offensive glass. So they're up to only the 5 offensive rebounds, but for a team that averages in the 14 to 15 offensive rebound mark, it's keeping them well below their average and out of sync.
That's how the rest of the stats look on your screen now as well. And taking a look from an individual point of view, we've been speaking glowingly about Kelsey Griffin, the 16 points. Alicia Frolling's been fantastic with 15. Wilson with 13 points, 7 rebounds and 4 assists. So she's stuffing the stat sheet. And then for the Boomers, Tadara Reid's been fantastic with 19 points, well above her season average of 7.4. Monique Conti up to 13. And no surprise to see Keely Froling leading the rebound count with 7. So the score is 68 to 56 in our game. But we're going to take a look at the other game right now, and it's 25 to 16 in the way of the Fire at the NCCC. You can see Sammy Whitcomb doing Sammy Whitcomb things, letting it go from the three-point range. Of course, that's the other game as part of our double-header. Whitcomb up to 8 points already, by the way, too. So one for Canberra to potentially keep their eye on. But we're keeping an eye on a fantastic game, that Red Energy Arena. Series leveled at 1-1 between these two teams. And Mark, if you go back to the first game these two teams played, remember Bendigo on a roll. They had that three-quarter time lead, and then Melbourne came storming back for that massive comeback win. Kelsey Griffin with the 33 points still couldn't get it done. So this game is by no means over.
Not at all, but if you're the Bendigo Spirit, you've got to keep a foot on the gas pedal, and they've got multiple people who are scoring threats. That's got to continue for 10 more minutes to get yourself a really critical result.
Naz Hillman can't get the first shot of the quarter. Here's Kelly Wilson. 6 points, 4 rebounds and 2 assists. The 448 gamer. Griffin has been lining it up this game. Gets her own rebound and goes to the charity stripe for her efforts.
Big time player, and we talk about it in terms of the decision making, and that play is obviously drawn up by Coach Kennedy Kerryama to get the ball inside to Kelsey Griffin and play through her. She's so dangerous, but I mentioned it earlier, the likes of her, the likes of the length of Ruth Davis, the tenacity and length of Alicia Froling. You can't just contest the first shot. It's never or rarely the first shot that beats you. It's that rebound and putback or rebound and putback that incurs a foul and turns into an and one.
Amy Rochi with it now from Melbourne. Canada, Reid with some new headwear. Affects the shot. Keely Froling hits the deck. 7 points, 7 rebounds for Keely Froling. 4 blocks as well, if you don't mind. It's pretty aggressive out there. A win means everything for these two teams. A win for Melbourne secures their spot in finals. A win for Bendigo keeps them alive. They have to win every game for the rest of the season if they're any chance of making finals.
They're certainly in the box seat tonight. They've done a great job of rebounding the basketball and controlling tempo and showing their depth too. I mean, this is a team that's built for playoff basketball, and you see why they're pushing the team that led the competition in the early stages of the Cygnett WNBL season.
Ellie Wilson getting moving. Griffin. Samuels wanted Griffin once again, but Hillman read it better. Get another whistle. Nice Hillman feeling frustrated out there. Let's take a look at it on the replay. I think Reed just held on to Griffin there. So Bendigo will have it again. Kelly Wilson with it. Double team. It leaves Griffin free. It also leaves Samuels free. An athletic catch. Back into Davis. Too long in the key. It's a lot of almost moments for Ruth Davis, I feel. She's got a lot of potential. And sometimes just little things like that make it a bit disappointing, but she's been great value for the Spirit, undoubtedly.
Well, she gives you size that is unparalleled in the competition. There's only a handful of teams that have someone that's physically that tall and has that kind of reach advantage.
And there you go, on cue. She's had a few big defensive moments there, Ruth Davis. A big block earlier on in the game and then just knocking it out of bounds there. Making Melbourne work for their points. Rochi into Hillman. And Davis impacts again. Big defensive play from Ruth Davis. Allie Wilson into Griffin. Cut off by Canada. Off to the races. Oh, Werung played great defense there. Canada just tried to bounce off her, as she so often does when she's on a fast break.
It's a big time block, so keeping your feet and body away if you're Ruth Davis, you can play with all of that 6'5" length, and you've got the separation to be able to swat that shot away.
Hillman into Rochi. Reed. Wilson gets the rebound. Kicks ahead, and it pays off for Froling. Can't get the shot to go, though. Canada now getting moving. Into Keely Froling. Hillman gets the offensive board and put back.
Important basket for the Boomers, important basket for Hillman's confidence.
It's a trademark basket this season. Offensive rebound, pop it back in. Froling into Kelly Wilson. Rochi able to cut that one off. Good idea there from Kelly Wilson.
And she has the knack of finding you, so whether this is in the pick and roll play, she takes an extra dribble to find herself a window to scoop that ball across to Froling. But then you notice that a lot of the kick ahead passes in transition that have hit a post player for a layup, they're all coming off Kelly Wilson's hands.
And the Boomers get the call there. Froling thought she got a bit of contact while scrambling for the ball. You be the judge at home. Meanwhile, Amy Rochi with it. Into Jordan Canada. Boomers need to get moving. Reed from the corner. And Froling just couldn't get a handle on the rebounds. Alicia Froling hitting the deck. So both teams tightening up the clamps defensively, that's for sure. It's high octane in the third term, and now perhaps a bit of fatigue kicking in and a bit of defensive structure as well. Bendigo outplayed the Boomers 29-19 in that third period, and here they go again. Ali Wilson into Kelly Wilson. Not much inside. Eventually Froling gets there. Can't get the shot to go. Canada now. Both teams desperately want a shot to drop. Rochi, that one doesn't fall either. And a timeout called on the floor. I think both coaches have seen enough. Get their teams back in and reassess. So 69 plays 58. And this timeout is brought to you by your local Ford dealer, proudly supporting community basketball in Australia. And while we're in a timeout, we're going to take a look at the other game of the night between the Capitals and Townsville. It's over to Matt Hickey and Bet Cole.
I love the re-screen action. It is so useful. But yeah, sometimes as a guard, we just need to slow down, make sure our bigs have got their feet set. And also Bunton now with 2 personal fouls. And, you know, we still have another 5 minutes of this first half to go, so it'll be interesting to see how long Bunton stays out there. And she's off the court.
Yeah, especially with Akuso off the floor at the moment, it not necessarily a big surprise to see Bunton take a break here. And then they will let Okoye deal with Ruth. And a nice finish there from Alex Sharp as she looks to get going. So the Capitals not going away just yet, staying.
Good to see Alex Sharp getting a basket there for the Capitals. At the moment, they are trailing the Townsville Fire. And at the moment in this game, it's the Boomers trailing the Spirit 69-58. Kelsey Griffin's been a big part of the Spirit being in the lead right now. You can see 17 points, Froling with 15, Wilson with 13. Reed and Conti are the 2 players in double figures for Melbourne. Back in action at Red Energy Arena. Kelly Wilson picked off by Conti. Very rare error from the vet. Monique Conti says thank you very much. Good hustle out of the timeout.
Now, if the Boomers are to make up this deficit, it's going to come from plays like that. Points off turnovers, in transition, offensive rebounds, putbacks. You won't be able to out-execute the Spirit just in the half court alone.
And there's that hustle again. Griffin double teamed. Canada wrestled the ball away and then hit the deck. So come out with a bit of vengeance by the looks of it, the Boomers. Maybe Chris Lucas had a bit of strong words to say.
Well, they have to. They've got to play to win and not settle for the perimeter shots that the Bendigo Spirit are trying to bait them into taking. Stay aggressive, play to win, compete for rebounds.
Reed driving and getting it to go. Getting herself beyond the 20-point mark as well, Mark.
Absolutely. And if you're Coach Kennedy Kerryama, you're watching this one closely. If there's any semblance of momentum, you're calling a quick timeout to stem it.
Rowling gets the call and she's happy about it.
But a post feed and a foul on a layup attempt gives you everything that you need. Stops the game, gives you a chance to get 2 free throws with no defense on you, puts the ball in rebound territory where your size could play a factor on the offensive glass should Alicia Froling miss the second one of these.
Kelly Wilson coming off the floor as well. So Alicia Froling misses the first one. She's had a great performance so far tonight. 15 points, 6 rebounds, 35% from the field. Missing both those free throws won't help as the Boomers are coming. Canada. Big play coming up here. Reed thinks about the triple, then goes inboard, dishes it to Hillman. Froling's there to mop it up. Shot doesn't fall. Reed, desperate. Conti checks her feet, launches. That won't work. Spirit escape. Crocker with it. 7 points for her so far. Guarded by Canada. Into Ali Wilson, a deep triple. Doesn't fall. Conti now off and running. 15 points next to her name tonight. What's she got left? Gives it to Hillman. Been in the foul trouble all game, but has persisted, Naz Hillman, and she does it again.
That's what you want to see if you're Coach Chris Lucas. Just turning and making the play, not worrying about whether there's a referee whistle, I mean, there's a 20-8 free throw attempt discrepancy right now, but the only way that you're going to shore that up if you're the Boomers is by putting the ball inside and attacking.
Werong breaks a 8-0 run from the Boomers. A crucial basket. But Melbourne moving it quickly through Canada. A lot of noise out there on the floor. Both teams desperate for a win. Froling steps into the shot. Doesn't pay off.
If you're the Boomers, if the basketball stops, the Bendigo Spirit can load all of their help into the painted area, into the keyway, and blow up all of those driving lanes and post-feed lanes that you're seeking. So anytime that you're in the half court, you've got to keep the thing moving from side to side to create opportunities for yourselves. But credit the Bendigo Spirit to stick with their game plan, giving that cushion of space and trying to clog up the key area.
Wilson guarded aggressively by Canada. Gets the call. So all of a sudden, Jordan Canada finds herself in a bit of foul trouble. That's her 4th for the game, so that's crept up on us very quickly.
And she doesn't have it easy. She's got to defend Ali Wilson for the next 3 minutes, 25 seconds. And Ali's one that doesn't take the foot off the gas pedal.
Froling getting to work on Hillman. The shot falls short. Canada staying out there into Hillman. And Naz Hillman finds herself in double digits all of a sudden. Can the Boomers do this?
If they keep getting scores in transition or off offensive rebounds, absolutely they can get back in this.
Crocker up against the smaller Conti, uses the mismatch perfectly. 73 plays 66. Boomers need buckets and they need them quickly. Canada are asked for some movement. Reed into Conti. Those two have been stars for the Boomers throughout the game. Shot clock down in single digits. Conti pulls up and drains it. Big time basket from Conti. Ali Wilson looking to use up as much time as she can. Her team with the lead at the moment to the tune of 5 points. Wilson gets it back into Crocker. Now Alicia Froling goes right, then left, then out. Samuels, corner, bucket! Big time bucket from Casey Samuels. Forces a timeout on the floor. 2 minutes left. Spirit 76, playing the Boomers 68. A beautiful look here from Samuels. She's had a great game from long range and she makes no mistake at a clutch moment.
Credit the assist to Merrin Crocker to catch it and make that corner kick pass straight to the wide open Samuels. The shortest distance from the three-point line to the basket is in that corner. It's a smart job for Samuels to space herself there and knock down the triple.
So now everything must go right for the Boomers. 76 playing 68. What's Chris Lucas's message here, do you think, Mark?
Well, I mean, you've got to stay aggressive at both ends of the floor because you've got to speed up this basketball game and try to create more possessions within it. So that means being aggressive on the defensive end, but not at a point that it gives you those blow-by wide-open layups. You've got to be ready to rotate, not only to blow up the layup, but then make the next rotation and the next one through the passing lane so you're not giving up those corner three-point shots and chance yourself at getting a deflection and a steal. But anything you've got to push the other way. For Coach Kennedy Kariyama, you're in absolutely no hurry. So you've just got to almost use the attack of the Boomers against them. If they're rushed, just challenge, stay clean defensively, do a great job of boxing out. And then if you can't get something quick in transition back the other way, you're in no hurry. You want to keep the ball moving from side to side, a full shot clock, force them the Boomers to have to defend within, and then compete for the offensive glass. So you're using that expenditure of effort up and down, side to side, and in trying to pursue the offensive rebound to wear down this Boomers team.
So 2 minutes left. The Boomers down by 8 points. Series leveled at 1 apiece. Boomers need to win tonight to punch their ticket to finals. Otherwise, they got to keep going. Spirit need to win every game from here end to make that Final Four.
Chance for the Spirit to run here.
Wilson. Boomers get the cavalry back. Crocker now. Gets Davis, who gets Griffin. Kelsey Griffin, and one!
That could be a nail in the coffin.
Griffin knows it. Flexes her muscles. She's done so many tremendous things in a Bendigo uniform, and tonight looks like she's going to guide her team to a win on their home floor. 19 points for her. Make that 20. Gets the margin out to 11. A minute 30 left. The equation just gets harder and harder for the Boomers. Canada. Conti needs to just let everything fly now. Luckily, it gets back to Canada if you're a Melbourne fan. Goes driving and gets the call. Canada's been trying hard all game. 7 points, 6 assists, 4 fouls as well.
Now, if you're Coach Chris Lucas, you're communicating to your team, if there's anything that's an aggressive defensive coverage up the floor that you have within your package, this is a great time to roll that out because you get 2 free throws, the ball is close to your basket and has to be inbounded. You have an opportunity to have a crack at double teaming an inbounder or trying to go for a steal without too much penalty. I mean, you need more possessions. A minute 9 is not a lot of time left. You've got to throw everything in the kitchen sink from a defensive standpoint at this Spirit team. For the Spirit, to the contrary, Coach Kennedy Kariyama, you'd want to be talking about a press break, whatever that is that you've practiced with your team. To handle this pressure, get it over halfway safely, and then force the Boomers to have to defend a full shot clock.
Spirit up by 9. Under a minute left. Kelly Wilson. Guarded by Conti. Griffin. A long way from the ring. It won't matter as long as they can use up as much time. Crocker gets it taken out of her hands. Good defense there from the Boomers. They just have to go. Canada knows it. Pulls up. Can't knock it down. It heads out of bounds. Conti hit the deck pretty hard there. See the miss there from Canada. Not what they needed. Bendigo on a roll. And rolling their way to a win. And there'll be a timeout called on the floor. 38 seconds left. A 9-point ball game. Spirit look like they're going to take the series 2-1. It's massive for their confidence, Mark. Of course, the FIBA break coming up, so time to rethink a few things. And then they've got the Caps, Townsville and Perth. So a few big games coming up for them.
Yeah, crucial. I mean, for both of these teams, it's a crucial stretch. So the Spirit trying to win enough games to be able to put themselves in that mix. I mentioned this is a team that's built for finals. They're deep enough. They have contributors that come in off the bench. They scare teams when they're fully rolling. For the Boomers, if you're the Southside Flyers, you're cheering this result on because it keeps you in a position where you can leapfrog the Boomers on the ladder and put yourself into that picture for perhaps top spot.
Next game's for Melbourne, of course, the FIBA break for them too, and then they've got a road trip. They're at Adelaide and then they're at Canberra. So both teams face Canberra, of course. Not all doom and gloom for the Boomers if they are to lose, but it's a big win for the Spirit for their confidence. 9-point margin between these two teams. It's been really close in the previous 2 games. No team has won by more than 3 points this season. The first game between these 2 teams at Bendigo is delivering in the way of the Spirit. Ali Wilson with it from the sideline. Looking to put the cherry on top. Kelly Wilson into Griffin. He's had a hell of a game. Back out to Kelly Wilson. They'd love a shot from her. Conti instead gets the boards.
Surprised the Boomers didn't try to foul early in that possession.
And they still can't get the shot to go. Kelly Wilson, there is the foul. It comes from Conti. So the Boomers over the limit. Kelly Wilson will take a walk down the court.
But too late. I think there was an opportunity when the ball got inbounded with 38 seconds left. The clock's not your friend. It went into Alicia Froling, who typically has been around that 50% from the free throw line type of shooter. That was your opportunity if you're the Boomers, to foul, put someone on the line who you bank on maybe not making one of the two or maybe even both, and then you can get possession back. It's a missed opportunity for the Boomers, and smart by the Spirit to play this one out and manage the dying seconds.
They've only lost the 2 games in 2024, but they've been the best offensive team in January. It's been 4-4 between these two teams in the last 8 games. Melbourne are actually 5-1 against Bendigo on this show court. So Bendigo are going to get one back tonight. Margin's still at 10, 3.6 seconds left for the Boomers to salvage something to take home back to Parkville. Froling gets blocked by Alicia, and that might be the story of the game. Alicia getting the job done over her sister on their birthday eve, but more importantly, the Bendigo Spirit cause a boil-over on their home floor. They keep their slim finals hopes alive, and they get the series win over the Boomers. At full time, it's Bendigo 80, getting the job done over Melbourne 70. What a performance from the home team, Mark Alabakov.
Yeah, they were tremendous in just out-executing the Melbourne Boomers and forcing them to play uncomfortably. So they played a sagging defense, baited rather, the Boomers to play through the perimeter rather than, through the low post or being able to pursue the offensive glass just because of everybody being out on that three-point line or away from the hoop. And then boxed out, ran the ball with pace in transition, got themselves into early looks at the tip of the rim in transition or playing through their low post, whether that was high-lows, whether that was off their pick-and-roll play and feeding people going to the basket. It resulted in 25 free throw attempts to the Boomers' 10. This margin's 10 points the difference. There's 15 points that went begging for the Boomers. It was the difference in the ball game just because of the change in approach. You had the Bendigo Spirit trying to go inside, and the Melbourne Boomers settling for a lot of perimeter play, which is not how they play their best, and proved costly tonight.
Our player of the game is Kelsey Griffin. What a massive performance. 20 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 5 steals as well. 8 rebounds and 5 steals, 8 from 13 from the field. She just keeps delivering in clutch moments, Mark. There's no one you'd rather trust with the ball in their hand when the team needs to get the job done.
Well, she's smart and she's a proven operator, proven big game player. When it's a crucial point in the game, whether it's late or whether it's within and there's a momentum swing towards the opposition, you can almost set your watch to it that Kelsey Griffin is going to make a play to steer her team back into a position where they're going to get themselves a result. So her ability to make plays when it's needed, that's inside and outside, competes with effort on the offensive glass. She had 4 offensive rebounds, but then she does a job defensively. She's so smart at defending her player, but then blowing up actions for critical people at the other end of the floor. She had the 5 steals tonight. It was incredible at both ends, I thought.
Absolutely, she was. And she had a few contributors alongside her as well. Ali Wilson with the 13 points, Alicia Froling with the 15, and Ruth Davis doing some good things in defense as well. But a lot of contributors on the floor for the Spirit, and it's ultimately what made the difference in this game.
Yeah, and the bench contributions, the depth that they have, they've always had a team that's capable of having multiple contributors on the floor, people who can step up and win you a game at any point in time. Kelly Wilson scoring got them going in the beginning. You had Ali Wilson then step up for periods of time. Alicia Froling's floor running and offensive rebounding kept them going. But the 31 points from bench players to the Melbourne Boomers 23, again, I point to the discrepancy in the margin being 10 points. There's 8 points difference just from your bench contributors. So it shows you the depth that this Bendigo Spirit team has, and they've just got to continue to win, and that's what they're doing.
Here are the full-time stats from the game. As you can see, 39 up against 36 in the field goal range. 3-point percentage 30 up against 32. Free throws pretty similar as well, and pretty similar in most of the stats too. It's just the rebounds we were talking about for most of the game, Mark, but Melbourne did well to at least bounce that back in their way.
They did. I mean, the big thing for me is the free throws. There's a big discrepancy between 25 free throw attempts to 10, but it's wholly explainable in the way that these two teams played. I think the Melbourne Boomers played a whole lot of, or settled rather, for a whole lot of perimeter type of action. That doesn't put you in positions to be fouled. But to the contrary, the Spirit took it to the Boomers bigs and got themselves on the free throw line early in the shot clock, middle of the shot clock, and then laid off offensive rebounds.
You can see the top scorers. We've sung the praises of Kelsey Griffin, but also props to Monique Conti, Tara Reid and Naz Hillman in double-digit points for the Melbourne Boomers. And that is, of course, what it's all about. The kids coming onto the court, meeting their idols and getting all sorts of things signed. I mean, there's so many things that kids get signed. It used to be just an autograph book, and now we've got hands, we've got shoes, we've got little basketballs. It's what we love to see.
You would be stunned at some of the things that people get signed, and mums will get things handed to them at home, a T-shirt with a signature, a school uniform with a signature on it, a lunchbox, whatever it is. You know, we like to see people getting around the great role models that we have in the Cygnett WNBL.
Well, round 13 is nearly done and dusted. It's half-time between the Caps and Townsville over at the National Convention Centre. Fire leading 47-40 in that one. And then we've got just one game to go after tonight between Perth and Southside. Doesn't that become massive now with the Bendigo win? Perth having 4 losses in a row. And of course, for now, after these 2 games are completed, we go into the FIBA break. And of course, we wish the best of luck to all of our WNBL athletes representing their countries in the Olympic qualifiers. Mark Alabakov, thanks for your insights as always. And on behalf of us and our amazing production team, we thank you for tuning in. Make sure you switch over to Canberra Townsville to catch the end of that game. But we're signing off from Red Energy Arena, where it was the Spirit getting the job done over the Boomers by 10 points.